Joining me today, I have filmmaker Bisong Taiwo. Thank you so much for taking the time today.
Thanks for having me. I'm very glad to be here.
I would love for you to right away start off and tell us about this new film project, Mary's Way of the Cross.
Yeah, so in the Catholic tradition, we have a prayer called the Way of the Cross or Stations of the Cross. And that's really, it chronicles Christ's passion and it's broken down into about 14 chapters typically. So I just made the cinematic form of that with a couple of twists. First is from his mother's perspective, so it's from Mary's perspective, her internal monologue as she's witnessing these events. And it's not a historical reproduction, it's more of a contemplative, meditative piece. So yeah, that's the film.
I watched the trailer. It definitely looks interesting. Who is that stunning actress that is in it?
Yeah, her name is Gloria Thompson, and I've used her in a lot of my films. She's a great collaborator, and she has all the emotions that uh, that she brings to the table. So she's amazing, and really, she's the only character in the entire film. It's an hour, and she just carried the whole thing all the way through. So it wouldn't
Fantastic.
be the same without her.
How long did it take you to complete this cinematic journey?
About 3 years. I remember I conceived of the idea in 2020, and then the pandemic happened and a lot of stuff happened. So it just took a bit of time to get everything. The idea also evolved over during that period, and it finally came out like I was done last year.
That makes sense. That absolutely makes sense. How can churches use it this Easter, and what are you hoping comes from this film?
Yeah, so actually, it's interesting because last year, the Archdiocese of Winnipeg usually has a public way of the cross. So we're out on the streets and we're doing the whole procession through all the 14 stations. And last year, their theme just happened to be, I think it was called the Walk with Mary. So it was from Mary's perspective as well. That was the theme for last year. And they needed like the lyrics for the stations to be read out loud. And my film was done, and they asked me if they could use, script, and I was like, yeah, sure. So it was such a beautiful, amazing thing to have that read publicly, in front of hundreds of people, all the way through all 14 stations last year. So that was amazing. But that wasn't the film itself. That was just the script. What I really like is to have some kind of public screening, either a church or theater or anywhere with a projector really, and just have a free public screening where everyone can just come and gather and just pray along with the film.
It's beautiful. I would love to ask a personal question if that's okay.
Yeah, sure,
What
absolutely.
what does Easter mean to you?
Oh man, it's one of the most difficult times of the year. I have to say because it, Easter comes after Lent, right? And that's 40 days in the desert, 40 days of fasting and prayer. And I think the end result of that is the resurrection, right? So that's like the light at the end of the tunnel. It's the thing to look forward to. And it's an exciting time. It's a time for celebration as well. But usually when I think of Easter, I start to think of it with Lent, with Ash Wednesday, the difficult times, the tough times, the time of sacrifice, time of repentance, all that stuff. And then Easter is like the release, the great victory that comes at the end of the suffering.
Yeah, the light at the end of the tunnel after all this time, right? A great reminder for many of the seasons that we live even in our own lives where it gets really hard and then okay, God is still with me. Just keep going. And this is that kind of metaphor. I like that. Is there anything else that you wanted to share? Maybe how people can watch this, when it'll be officially released?
Yeah. So you can go to the website. It's called maryswayofthecross.com. and the trailer is there, and you can sign up to receive email updates because I will put up the film to watch in its entirety on the website sometime during Lent. I haven't decided yet. It could be today, it could be, anytime between now and Easter. So it's a very popular prayer during Lent. So I want to try to get it into as many hands and as many eyes as possible. So definitely go check out the website.
Fantastic. I like that little mystery there, intrigue. Who knows when I'll put it up, but you got to find out. You got to check out the website. That's good. Wonderful. Thank you, B Song, so much for joining me today and sharing your heart and your passion behind this. And yeah, I hope that you continue to make uh, film that really speaks to your heart like this.
Thanks so much. I appreciate you bringing me on here.